Hey guys, how's it going? Let me post up these links and then we can get started. Looks like market's finally picking up. Thankfully, it's getting bored for a second. Put this up right here. Dang, looks like my US 30 got stopped out in profit. Pretty good. US 30 is all over the place. What's going on right now? Let me send this out real quick, guys, and then we can get started. Hey, morning, Elkin. Morning, Nicole. Morning, Kenny. Morning, Tam. Morning, Susan. Morning, everybody. I'm going to send out this link real quick, and then we can get started. Looks like the market's finally picking up market volatility, so we're able to catch a couple trades here. Call one for a USD CHF right here. I'm currently in profit, and our odd JPY. I'm about at entry right now, so it's looking pretty good for the most part. Hopefully the volatility stays up for a bit. We have New Year's Eve, I think, tomorrow, right? Wednesday, yeah. Did asking KT for sponsorships? No. Let me send this out to here. I'm gonna send it out to one other place. So I'm currently watching US 30 right now as well, guys. It's moving pretty crazy right now. Let's see if I can take this off. Yeah, huge spike right there on that candle. How much did it spike? Not too much, maybe like about 400, 500 pips. I mean, it's still a spike, so see how that plays out. Let me send this link out a couple more other places and we should be good. Today's the 29th. Yeah, this year's flying by, guys. About to be New Year's. Ready for that. All right, let me put this link out here. All right, I think that's it for the links. Oh, one last place. Got to put on the IG. Put this on the Instagram real quick. All right, 1 second, guys. I'm just gonna get this on the Instagram, and then we should be able to get started. Swipe up. All right, I think we're good to go. So let me check out the charts real quick. If you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Let's see who's here today. All right, so looks like we're starting to fill up right now. Morning, Victor. Morning, Kushi. Morning, Violet. Morning, Matt. Morning, Wavebum. Morning, Josh. Morning, Hope. Morning, Andrea. Morning, Vincent. Morning, Billy. Morning, everybody. Get my chair down real quick. Like I was mentioning earlier, look at US 30, guys. It's going crazy right now. I was watching it this morning and I just saw it spike around. I think it spiked around maybe 500, 600 pips. So let's see how this ends up playing out. Yeah, I'm glad the buy didn't close because this would have been weird if we got into this buy. This sell would have been nice though from this point. Using the new strategy that I was discussing previously, since this closed below here, I might take a side position for myself. Since this sell closed below here, we anticipate this to drop pretty heavily right there. I mean, it's already in profit, so it's a little too late for me to enter if I really wanted to, but this would have been the entry for this specific the new strategy that I was introducing. We're implementing it into the US 30 entries. That's why we didn't take the sell yesterday. Thankfully, we did it because it would have hit stop loss. So if you guys sat in on that, or the reason why we didn't take this one over here was because the sell didn't close below the previous signal. So if we took that trade, looks like it may have hit stop loss. Let me see. Yeah, so it would have hit stop loss if we took that trade. But now that I've implemented the new strategy that I introduced, we avoided this loss right here. So good for that. I'm going to be implementing it today as well. So we'll see. The next signal looks like it needs to be a buy. So if it closes below here, then we'll probably not be taking this because it would have to close above this area. What I'm kind of hoping for is we get an invalid buy and then we get another sell that closes farther low. And then we can take that entry right there. But keep in mind, guys, the end of the year is usually a manipulated time. You can see obviously it's happening right here. It's pretty big. This candle right here, it's a 10-minute candle. And for this specific candle, it's moved 600 pips nearly. So, going from like a 200 pip consolidation phase to slowly drop into a huge candle like this. Obviously, the market's being manipulated right now. There's a lot of different factors that are factoring it up as well. If you guys follow the news, there's a lot of stuff going on. More so with the stimulus checks, that's going to affect the market. This, the new COVID variant that happened in the UK, I guess they've detected it in the US, so that's affecting the market as well. And there's just a lot of stuff going on in the market, guys, today. On top of that, I analyzed US 30 with David yesterday. We looked at and we analyzed a couple price points over here where it's just way too overbought, guys. It's gonna have to drop eventually. We were expecting it to drop not now, but maybe later. We had a couple scenarios that we ran through where we still see it pushing up actually. So we probably still see it pushing up a bit, because we are looking at the sentiment from yesterday, and there's just too many people that are, let me see, IG sentiment 30. Let me see if there's a lot of people that are still on the short side, because everyone's betting on the short, right? So they're not going to make that easy with this drop. It's still 71%. It's not as bad as yesterday. I think yesterday was a lot higher, and I think a lot of people got shooken out. So I think it was around 80% yesterday. It pushed up, and then now they're pretty much, I think what's going to happen here is it might come down a little bit. Maybe retest the 30,500 and then it'll probably spike right back up to pretty much stop everyone else out. They're just trying to shake all these people out. There's too many short sellers right now because everyone's anticipating the drop, right? Because it's at all-time high. So they're probably going to shake some people out first. And then once it gets closer to below 70%, like around 65, 68%, then they'll probably dump it. So, and that's a long-term outlook for US 30. I don't think it's ready to dump just yet. It's a little too early, but eventually it's going to dump. So we will be prepared for that. See how far is it from this structure? Yeah, it's about 1,000 pips. So if we do take a buy, I'm going to be giving you guys 3 TPs just for now, because the market, it's just the way the market's moving, guys. You guys have to know to manage your positions properly, because there's just a lot of uncertainty with how it's going to move. I think it's still going to be bullish, but I think it's going to end up dumping at some point. So this is our clean chart here. These are the ones marked up yesterday between me and David during our session yesterday. I don't think you guys saw it was a private session, so we'll see how this plays out. All right, let me go check out the chat. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. I can answer any questions you guys have with regard to any pairs, any risk management questions, any K2 questions, anything in general, guys. If you have anything that you have to ask, feel free to put them in the chat, and then I can go ahead and take a look to see what's going on with that. Let me check our positions right now. Looks like we had some slight pullback on JPY. USD CHF is looking nice. I'm in profit nearly $100 for the USD CHF that I just called. So it's coming down. JPY, some slight pullback. It's completely fine. Looking at the other JPY pairs, they're all bullish, right? So JPY, K² is bullish, EJ is bullish, GJ's it's pulled back a bit, but overall it's bullish. I think it's gonna swing back up from where it currently is right here, and then come right back up. So all the JPY pairs are pretty much bullish right now, aside from UJ, because there's stuff going on in the US right now. Obviously, it's affecting the market. But looking at AJ right here, I think it's just pulling back slightly. It's probably doing a break and retest. Because it broke structure right here, it's going to retest the structure, and then it'll shoot right back up. Since the other JPY pairs are also bullish, I think it's going to follow through. Aside from UJ, because with the stimulus going on, when they start printing money, this is going to be weak. So we'll probably see this come down from this point. It goes hand in hand with our USD CHF position over here, which looks nice. Our USD CHF is about to hit TP1 right now. I'm in profit about $100. You guys can see right here from my live account. We'll probably be taking this on the next entry off the next candle close, which is in about 3 hours. So everything looks good right now. Our US 30, we're still gonna be looking for this entry. Like I mentioned, if this buy signal doesn't close above here, then we're probably gonna skip it, guys. It's just not the time to take these unnecessary risks for specific assets like US 30. It's going to be highly manipulated due to the stimulus and to a lot of the new COVID news that's coming out today. There's a lot of stuff going on today, guys. So it's time to be careful, especially with New Year's coming around. It's going to cause a lot of unusual movements in the market. Let's see. All right. So looks like you guys are talking about UK 100. Let me go and check out the chat real quick, see what you guys are talking about, to see what's going on. So go back to the chat over here. Morning, Dennis. Morning, Varun. Morning, Zubi. Morning, Bryce. Morning, Denzel. Let's check this out real quick. All right, USD CHF hit TP1. I'm in profit $130. You guys saw me, I was looking at it earlier. So I'll go ahead and post this up real quick that we hit TP, 13 pips. So 13 pips, $1 per pip, I'm up $130. I'm trading near a standard lot. So let me just send this out real quick. So guys, make sure you move your stop loss and profit whenever you guys can. It's not a time to take any crazy risks right now. I mean, I'm probably gonna hold mine because I don't really care. But for you guys, if you guys can't handle the risk, then I recommend that you guys adjust your stop loss. I'm gonna hang on to it. Probably run to full TP. All right, sorry guys, I'm just reading this stuff real quick to see if there's anything that I'm missing. All right, cool. So USD CHF, TP1. I'm gonna hold on to it. I'm not gonna move my stop loss just yet because I think it's gonna drop pretty heavy, especially with them printing the US dollar. I'm just gonna hold it to full TP. I'm trying to lock in about $500 off this trade. That should be good. That'll set me over for the day. But yeah, so let me go back and check out the chat real quick, see what's going on. Let me see if I missed anything over here. Victor said, Shawn, please define the opening candle. I thought it was the one closes exactly at Victor. So the opening candle is going to be the actual opening candle. So the opening candle opens at 6:30, right? This would be the opening candle. That's the opening candle. So for the strategy, you enter the trade after it. So you skip this one, obviously the opening candle, you can see it's highly manipulated. That's why it's a big candle compared to the rest of the market. So the opening candle is 6:30, my time, Pacific Standard Time. That's when the New York Stock Exchange opens. So this would be the opening candle, and then you would take the first signal after it. So we don't take the one that's on this one more specifically. Let's see for here real quick, and then let's see what else is going on. All right, so yeah, Victor, does that make sense? The opening candle will be at 6:30 Pacific Standard Time, which is when the market opens. So we don't take the signal until after it for US 30. Let me see what else is here. Victor, sorry, Aleph is asking why the UK signal wasn't filtered using new strategy, please. Because a new strategy hasn't been released yet, Aleph. It's only used by me, so they haven't really used it just yet. But like we haven't tested it on UK 100. It's only been tested on US 30 because that strategy was meant for US 30. So that's why it wasn't used. But let me go ahead and take a look at UK 100. Just a reminder, guys, I don't call this trade. So if you guys have questions regarding UK 100, when you look at who posted it, it says who posted it here. So Alkin posted this one and Spencer. So if you have anything specific regarding UK 100, most of the time I can answer the question because I'm not the one that calls it. But I'm going to go ahead and look at it anyways to see what's going on with it here. That's why the parameters are a little different as well for the UK 100 because for me, I trade a one-to-one. But I believe for the London team, they use a different setup for it. So let me check it real quick. See what's going on here. So it looks like you guys are kind of close to that. And we'll see. Yeah, I mean, for the most part, that strategy, it's not required. The strategy is used for US 30 because I created it for US 30. It doesn't necessarily port over to UK 100 because if we add too many requirements to the strategy, you'll likely be missing out like on a lot of good trades. So let me just go back and see if it worked on the last one. So 24th market was closed on the 24th, 25th, 29th. So if you go back to I guess the 22nd, which is around midnight. So it might have taken that one. Go ahead midnight over here. Actually looks like it would have worked well on yesterday. So like right here, not yesterday's, on Thursdays. Like right here, this sell would have had to close below here in order for us to take that entry. And then vice versa, this one right here. Since it closed below, we would have put a buy stop here instead. And then it would have hit full TP, I'm assuming. Let's see. Yeah, actually would have hit full TP. So this strategy does work good on UK 100. It just has to be more tested because we haven't tested it yet. It's meant for US 30, not UK 100. So looking at it here, let me see if we were to apply it here, yeah, this trade would have been skipped. But it's all good, guys. I mean, it happens. This is this is gonna be a really tight one, guys. So we'll see how this plays out. I mean, overall, the strategy, I don't know. Let me see what the overall is for the UK, because I think Mark's been sending the overall for that. I don't think stop loss was hit for FTO yet, was it? It looks like it's still running for me. Mark said stop loss was hit. I'm not sure. Oh, looks like it hit for a lot of people. Yeah, I mean, it's all right. It's only 200 pips, guys. It's not that bad, especially for this one. It's about to, well, I mean, we'll see how that plays out, guys. It's not a, look at my USD CHF, guys. I've been profit 200 now. So I'm hanging on to this. I might even take off my TP, let it run even further. So I'm profit 200 bucks on USD CHF. Our odd JPY is rejecting off this point, like I mentioned earlier. But everything else looks good on my end. The only one not really looking good is UK 100, but it's still active technically. It looks active to me. So it depends on, I mean, it might depend on which broker you guys are using. Let me check this real quick. US 30, US 30 is dumping heavy right now. Right now is you guys got to be really careful, guys, especially with the indices market, because of all the stuff going on right now. All right, let me see. All right, let me keep going down these questions right here, see if I missed anything. But yeah, LF, quick answer to your question. The strategy hasn't been tested that well on UK 100 yet. The strategy is meant for US 30. So that's why we didn't use it, but it looks like it might be useful because this trade could have been avoided right here. But I still need to go over with the London group. We haven't even had our meeting yet, so we have to go over our meeting so I can go over the strategy with them to fully discuss it. There's a couple different intricacies to the strategy that only I understand. So we'll go over that soon. I'm probably gonna meet with them this week, if not next week, and then we can probably start implementing it into our entries. But I think overall the other entries have been good for UK 100. So I think that's why we've held off on applying it. But we'll see how that goes from there. All right, let me go ahead and take a look at everything else over here. The UK seems to be following, and I'm in UK right now. Yeah, it's gonna hit. So you guys hit stop loss for UK 100. It's fine. It's only the risk for this specific strategy is a little different. For me, I use a 1-to-1. For London group, they use a 200 to 600. So you guys should be okay with that. It's not that big of a hit on that one. So let me keep going down over here. Nice, Denzel. Denzel, Shawn. I'm from South Africa. Awesome. Glad to hear we have a lot of people here from all around. Angela said, I know you don't recommend he goes away, but on your personal account, how difficult is it to withdraw your profits? And are the fees to withdraw very high? I mean, the fees are going to vary. So depending on how you withdraw, I used to do reload where the fees were okay. They weren't that bad, but I do Bitcoin now, and I haven't done a withdrawal on that one for a while. I just let that account grow because I'm running the FTMO. So yeah, guys, unfortunately, UK 100 hit stop loss. It's all good. We're still, well, look at US 30, guys. This thing's crazy. Yeah, US 30 looks like it's coming crashing down, guys. Damn, this thing, how much did it drop from here? I wish I took the signal I just mentioned to you guys. This dropped over 1,000 pips already. Check our markup right here. So David, not sure if you're in the room, but it closed below 30,500. So it's probably going to come down, tested structure. You would think the stimulus would help it, right? Opposite. Unless there's something else going on in the world. I don't know if there's anything else pushing price down. I mean, technically, it's still in the positive from yesterday. It's still plus 19%. So, we'll see. So I think this might be the thing here. So what happened here is I think there was a lot of sell stops here, right? There's a lot of people trying to catch the drop. So the way I see it is right here, there's a bunch of sell stops right here on this point. So once price crossed this point right here, all the sell stops got triggered. So the sell stops got triggered right here. Again, right here, more sell stops got triggered. So there's a ton of liquidity right here that's getting filled. And it's just dumping super heavy right now. And then I think once it reaches down here, it's going to drop even heavier. So I can put my own sell stop down here. I don't want to enter too early because if I enter too early, it's probably going to spike right back up. But damn, check this out, guys. There's a lot of sell stops getting triggered right here. See, there's a rejection right there. There's some people trying to buy the dip right here. So we'll see how this plays out. I'm not going to mess with US 30 because I don't want to get caught in this manipulation going on right now. so we'll hold off on that. But damn, look at yeah, US 30 in general. I think UK 100. That's what. Yes, UK 100 hit stop loss. We're done with that. US 30 right here is this is such a crazy drop, guys. I don't know if you guys are seeing this. From this top right here all the way to here, it's dropped nearly 2,000 pips already. So we'll see how far it continues to drop. It doesn't look like we're going to have an entry for US 30 today, guys. There's just too much manipulation going on. We don't want to enter long or short position, and then price ends up spiking up and down, you know, stopping you out. So we'll watch US 30. Maybe if we see something, we might take it. But I personally don't think I'm going to really take it today. Or I might take it on my personal account. I'll just take it on there and then I'll run through with it. Let me see. I might just take a small lot size, like 0.01, just let it run pretty much, because I think it's going to keep dropping. The thing I don't want to do is I don't want to enter it right now, and then it ends up spiking up, which is likely going to happen. Price spike up a bit, or I might even swing right back up to here, and then go back into consolidation. So I'm not going to mess with it. I'm going to watch it. I'm not going to mess with it though. Our other positions are looking good, so I'm good with that so far. Our USD/CHF is in profit. I'm tempted to close it out because just the way the market's moving right now, like this is going to carry over to all of our other positions as well. UJ over here is dropping. So I'm assuming it has to do with the vote for the stimulus, because I think the Senate has to pass it. I think the House already passed it. Let's see. It's Trump's video. Let's see. And we'll have to wait and see. The Congress should vote to repeal. Yeah, we'll have to see what happens, because obviously there's something in the market that's really affecting. I'm gonna close this out in profit. All right, I'm at a USD/CHF, close that in profit, about 100 and something bucks. And here we go. See, it's gonna crack back up. This is why we're not gonna mess with it, guys. It's probably gonna go back up. Then it'll probably go back into consolidation. It'll probably, and then at that point, it's probably gonna lure in a bunch of sellers, right? Because they see this huge drop right here. It's gonna come back. Maybe maybe not there. Maybe it's a year. It'll come back a bit. It'll lure in a bunch of sellers, and then all of a sudden it's gonna spike right back up. So we'll see how this plays out. Let me go ahead and take a look over here again and see the questions. So back to your question, Angela, for Hugo's Way, I haven't really had any issues with withdrawals. It's been, for the most part, fine. The main issue with Hugo's Way is usually their connection issue. They usually have a time where they lose connection, or the connection's really bad, or you kind of get trapped in trades. Usually happens at night, about 8 to 10 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's usually when there's issues. But for me, since I trade in the morning during the US session, I don't have that issue anymore. But, you know, with regard to their fees, depending on how you make the withdrawal, I think VLOAD is fine. I think for the most part, all of them are pretty fine. The fees aren't that high. It just depends on where you transfer your Bitcoin, right? If you transfer your Bitcoin at Coinbase, the fees are going to be super high. If you transfer your Bitcoin to something like Cash App, which I use, I think it's not as high. I mean, it's still high, obviously. They have to catch their tax on you guys, but for the most part, I think Hugo's Way is fine. There's not really that much of an issue on my end with Hugo's Way. They've gotten a lot better. You know, I had issues with them last year, but I think they've gotten a lot better. I still don't recommend them because they're unregulated, but they're fine if you're just doing some basic trades. If you don't have like a huge amount in the account. Let's continue over here. So yeah, so here I'll take a look at UK 100 since you guys want me to analyze it. Let's go to UK 100 real quick, or I'll go over here. UK 100. Go ahead and draw these zones real quick. I'm sure there's something that's going on in the world that's affecting UK 100. I'm pretty sure these drops aren't just because, they're not just because. There's obviously something that's pushing the market in the direction. Let me go ahead and draw this up real quick. So we got this upper zone right here. And guys, just a reminder, I don't call the UK 100. So if you guys have any like specific questions to the strategy, you guys will have to ask in the premium group, because I personally don't trade it. I don't like calculate the risk or the entry for it. So although I know how the strategy works, I'm not the one that calls it. So I don't have any like specific answers for you guys. If you guys have any questions with regard to the UK 100 in general, let's make this down here. So I drew those zones right there. I'm gonna go down to the lower time frame, like maybe actually let's turn this off, turn this on. We had a buy signal right there. Go over to 2 hours, go over to 1 hour. I'll go down to the 10 minutes to see what you guys took right here. So this right here, let me see if there's any closer zones. Yeah, the UK 100 is kind of, due to this market close right here, there's a gap, obviously, a gap of how many pips? A gap of about 1,000 pips, looks like. It's a pretty big move. Yeah, looking at this here, I think this might come down to test the structure. So if you guys are still holding it, I think it's a very risky hold to be holding right now. Let me see if there's any closer zones. I don't really see anything closer. So it looks like there was a zone right there, but let me see if that zone was actually there prior. So you guys take this entry right here, right at 550. So it looks at 550. There was actually a zone above it, but no, there wasn't. So there's no way that could have been identified. This actually looks like it would have been a decent buy that you guys took, because there's a rejection off this point. It's basically a double bottom, comes down, rejection, comes out, retest, rejection, buy signal. So this actually looks like it should have been a good trade. The reason for the the flop is probably it was probably out of your hands, guys. I don't really see any reason for it to reverse on you guys like that. So I'm sure this is the buy that you guys took right here. It was actually at a nice support, because it broke structure right here, came down for a retest, came back for another retest, so double bottom, maybe even triple bottom right here if you want to calculate that. But at a very least, a double bottom right here. So it probably should have came up at that point. Unfortunately, it didn't. Looks like it came down from there. But maybe the stop loss is just a little too tight. Like I said, guys, I don't trade this, so I don't have the exact thought process behind it. You guys would have to talk to like Mark, Spencer, Alkin, or Jazz. But looking at this here, it looks like it should have been a good trade. You guys took this buy right here, so this looks like a simple break and retest. Price broke structure, retest, buy signal. Obviously, you would have anticipated a long position right there, right? So you guys took 600 to 2. 600 to 200. Yeah, it looks like a decent setup. I know it looks a little different. Main reason for that is, like I mentioned, I don't call this trade. Generally, if I was to call this trade, it would be 600, 600. This is how my setup would have been, because I trade 1-to-1. So this is where it would be right now, currently. It's currently below the structure, so this is actually, it's doing an opposite break and retest. So it looks like price has broken the structure, so broke it, retested it again right here. This can be the deciding factor whether it continues down or whether it breaks back above and swings further. So I mean, we'll see how this plays out, guys. Just like I mentioned, the market's being highly manipulated right now with a lot of the news going on. the COVID strain, the new stimulus for US, and the New Year's coming up on Thursday. Swing flip US 30. Yeah, it looks like US 30, the volatility is now going to die down. It did drop a bit. Now it looks like it's just going to either go back up or it's going to consolidate from down here until it decides to move again. So be careful with your positions, guys. Let me look at US 30 real quick. I mean, not US 30, USDCHF. Yeah, this pulled back a bit too. Thankfully, I pulled out in profit. I can probably re-enter if I really wanted to, but it did drop pretty nice, locking in like close to 200 bucks off that. Here's our odd JPY. It's doing exactly what I said. I said it was going to come up, retest, and then swing right back up, right? So I'm holding on to AJ right now. Otherwise, I think that's about it for now. What do you guys? K100. Where's my analysis for that? I swear I marked up UK100. I don't know what happened to my markup. Yeah, I don't know what happened to my markup because I swear I had this marked up not that long ago. Oh, never mind. I know where it is. Okay, I marked it up right here. Yeah, so this was my markup for UK100, and we got stopped out, so there's really no point. But if you guys are still holding on to it, I know some of you guys probably are. I think you guys should be fine. I think overall it should probably recover, but I think currently right now this drop right here was due to something. Let me see if there's news for UK100. There's no news on here. I don't think there's any news on Forex Factor either. Yeah, nothing really today. I mean, there's like light news, nothing too serious. But yeah, if you guys have any specific questions about that strategy, reach out to the London group. It just happens, guys. This happens sometimes. It swings back, hits stop loss, probably gonna shoot right back up. But we'll see how that plays out. All right, let me go back to my charts real quick. Go back to USDCHF. I might make a re-entry on this in a bit, guys. If I do, you guys will see me. I'll take it live on here. Let me go on the shorter time frame, see if there's anything here that I can possibly just think about applying the new strategy that I was discussing earlier. Yeah, I'll wait and I'll see how that plays out. Otherwise, I'm going to go back and look at the chat real quick, see if there's anything else that we should be paying attention to meanwhile. Yeah, we'll see how US 30 plays out. I think it's going to come up, consolidate, and then we'll consolidate for a while until we determine sentiment. 73%. So yeah, they're luring in sellers right here, guys. So 71%, now it's 73%. So that's exactly what I was mentioning earlier. They're going to try to lure in some sellers. They're going to spike price up to stop those people out. How many pips is this? I mean, it's not that far. It's only 500 pips. So I think it's definitely going to drop. It has to drop, but the problem with the Dow is that they're not going to make it that easy. They're not just going to let people enter a bunch of sells, especially with sentiment 73%. They're not just going to have a bunch of people enter sells and then just give them all the free money, drop price down. They're probably going to spike it up, go sideways, stop people out, and spike it back up again. And that's why we're going to be really careful with US 30. We're probably not going to enter today after this big spike because this is a highly manipulated move. Obviously, it dropped from here down to here for about 1,600 pips within like 20-30 minutes. So we'll keep watching it, but I'm probably not going to call a trade for US 30 today. Let me go ahead and take a look over here again. Victor said, haha, so it's the ones which opens at 6:30, mixed it up. Oh, nice, Victor. Yeah, I know, definitely. The strategy is different for US 30 and UK 100, Victor. So depending on what you're referring to, I think for the UK 100, they take the actual candle off, when the market opens. For me, I take the one after because the opening candle is usually manipulated. So that's why we don't take the opening candle. We wait for the following candle after that. Let me go ahead and take a look over here again and see if there's anything else here. Forex Trader said, USDCHF paid me back for UK loss. Yeah, no, definitely. Vincent's asking, what's the difference between Wall Street 30 and Dow Jones? So it's the same thing, Vincent. It just depends on which broker you're using. Some brokers use DJ 30, Some brokers use Dow 30, some brokers use US 30. It just really depends on which broker you're using. They just use different symbols. Let's see what else we got over here. Forex shares that should have sold AJ. Like I mentioned earlier, guys, I think AJ is going to bounce off that structure and it's going to come right back up. I don't think it's going to stay down that far. You know, the thing with AJ is it's kind of following UJ right now, but the rest of the CJ, JPY pairs, they're all having some sort of pullback. They have a bullish overall, but slight pullback right there. Same with AJ. It's a bullish overall, but slight pullback. As far as stop loss, it's pretty far down here. We have that cushion so that even if it pulls back quite a bit, even to this point, you know, we'll catch the swing right back up as it recovers. I don't think it's going to be bearish overall. I don't think the AUD is really affected with a lot of things going on in the world right now currently. So the reason for UJ to drop is obviously, and there goes spikes right back up. So everything here is having a slight pullback. NJ right here, bullish overall, slight pullback. GJ over here is different because there's stuff going on in the UK with their shutdowns. EJ over here is bullish as well. So all the ones that are not affected, you know, AJ, CJ, EJ, NJ, these are all bullish overall. So this is just a slight pullback I see. And I think it's going to swing right back up right after. So let me keep going down over here and see what is going on over. Denzel's asking, Shawn, a question, please. What do you think about Talent Fund? I'm reviewing them for a prop firm. Denzel, I've never used Talent Fund. You know, I'm happy with FTMO, so there's like no reason for me to really branch off to something else because I have a good relationship with FTMO, and you know, they pay me out and they're pretty consistent with everything. So with FTMO, that's the only one that I can really recommend for talent funding. I heard a lot of mixed reviews. Some people like it, some people hate it. I heard that the profit split just sucks with talent funding. So the thing is, if you're good at trading already, then you might as well go for FTMO. If it seems like a lot of people are going to talent funding because they just can't. They think they can't pass FTMO. They go to talent funding. They think they have a better chance at talent funding, but in reality, it's the same thing. So if you can't pass FTMO, you can't pass talent funding. So I can't recommend talent funding because I've never used them, but I did see mixed reviews. Most of them were not good reviews because I think their profit split is like in the first couple months you get like 10%, right? And then if you don't do good during your first 2 months or something, you just end up with a shitty split. So I'm happy with 70-30 split with FTMO, and you know, I'm consistent with my trading. And so I don't really need to look anywhere else. I already have 200K with FTMO, so I'm not going to leave them. And I'm working on my 300K right now. So for me personally, FTMO works fine with me. So I can't really recommend something that I haven't used, but just from my experience talking to other people in the group, it's been a mixed group with regard to you know, their opinion on talent funding. But most of the responses I got were that they weren't that good. So I personally wouldn't use talent funding. I know they're cheaper. That's probably what attracts most people, but it's the same system, guys. If you guys can't pass FTMO, you guys won't be able to stay consistent with talent funding either. I know a lot of people are they're backing talent funding because they want that instant gratification, right? I heard talent funding doesn't really have they don't have a challenge phase. So you're technically, you think you're getting the money right away, but your split sucks. So I'd rather do the challenge because I know I can pass it, get the 70% split versus doing talent funding and then only having like a 10% split for like 3 months. So you lose more money that way because you're not really getting, you know, your fair share of your trading. So I personally can't recommend talent funding. If you want to try it out, maybe try it out and then you could give us your review on it. But other people in K2 have not really had great things to say about them. Okay, so let me see if there's anything else here. If there's anything else that we can see here. Velocity said, do not use Instacoins to transfer Bitcoin. Coinbase seems like a steal compared to Coinbase. Yeah, Velocity said not to use instant coins. I used them a long time ago, and I remember I got an email from them that said that they shut down or something. So I would not use instant coin. I use Cash App if you're buying Bitcoin. That's probably the easiest way to do it. And if you want to do the more structured way, it would be Coinbase. So if you want to buy Bitcoin, I use Cash App, and I'll show you guys right here too. My Bitcoin is like growing like crazy, guys. Like I think you guys have seen. It was like $300 like a couple months ago. It's at about 1,200 now. So I grew that like I literally just bought like 300, $400 of Bitcoin and I just held on to it, and then it's like super high now. So that's cool. I'm glad that happened for me. Otherwise, let me see if there's anything else here. Victor said, Shawn, are you on currency.com? I do not see a gap on currency.com. Yeah. So I use currency.com for all of my index trades. So basically, US 30, UK 100, if I'm analyzing it, I use currency.com. It looks like there's a gap right here. It's a gap from Christmas up until the 28th, which was Sunday. Or Monday, actually, yesterday Monday, because it was a bank holiday on Sunday. So for indices, I use currency.com. For Forex, I use forex.com. So let's see how this plays out for US 30. I'm curious to see how far it drops, because I don't think it's going to drop pretty far. This is the price point David marked up for me. So he thinks it's going to drop down to here, and it lines up perfectly with the K2SR. So the same zone with David's markup right here. Looks like it lines up perfectly. I don't know if it's going to drop here completely. If it closes below this structure and then below this structure, then I could see it drop all the way down to here. However, if it doesn't and rejects off this point, we could probably see a small correction upwards, or maybe even just a sideways movement for a bit until sentiments determine and the banks and institutions decide where to push price. Because if there's a lot of people here on the short side, so it looks like there's 73%. If there's a lot of people on the short side, they're not going to make that easy for people to just enter sells, right? They're not just going to be like, oh yeah, go ahead and enter your sell and make your money, right? They're probably going to mess around for a bit, push it sideways, then spike it up to stop everyone out, and then maybe bring it back down. So I'd be careful with US 30 if you guys are trading it. Obviously, you guys can see here it's highly manipulated right now. It's not really the best time to trade US 30 because you're trying to shake people out of the market. You don't want to get caught in that shakeout unless your stop loss could be pretty far out. Let me see. Your stop loss is way out here, maybe. But I personally think it's too big of a risk for anyone to really enter US 30 right now. So let me go back to the chat right here, see what's going on. All right, cool. So Lisa wants me to check out GBP USD. So I'll add that to the list. Short C wants me to take a look at JPY 30-minute. Let me keep going down the list real quick. So I do see your questions, guys, for your analysis questions, but I'm gonna go down the chat real quick to make sure I don't miss anything else before we continue further. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Then I can go ahead and analyze them. I'll put them on a list, and then we can move forward from here. Dominic said, let me tell you guys a secret. You can't win every trade. Everyone's complaining about UK 100 loss. Should probably not trade it off. Yeah, Dominic's 100% proper with that response, because the thing is, in reality, guys, you guys can't win every single trade. You have to be able to manage your risk. And the thing with this loss here is that it was a small loss. With the London team, they keep stop loss tight, so it looks fine. And the thing with this right here, you guys can see here that it maybe the stop loss was just too tight. It might swing right back up, because it looks like it's coming back up now. So stop loss was at about 200 pips. Looks like it slightly triggered the stop loss and it's swinging back up. I don't recommend re-entering the trade, but just go ahead and watch it to see if that happens. Because if this does happen here, this drop right here couldn't have been predicted, because you guys saw my chart here when I marked up UK 100, right? I marked up UK 100, and the thing with that is that it was at support. So it was literally at support right now. So there's no way to really identify that this was going to happen, right? Like if you go back to here where the trade was called, it looks like a clean break and retest, guys. It came up, retested, and it was followed by a buy signal. So it's just bad luck, guys. Just take the loss, move on with the next one, because you literally can't win every single trade. If you guys think you could win every single trade, then you guys haven't been trading long enough, because I've been trading for about 10 years, guys. And I've learned that it comes to risk management. As long as you have a high probability strategy, like we have so many wins, it'll balance out the loss. So for me, when I take a loss, I just eat the loss, guys. It's no big deal. Eat the loss, move on to the next one, because eventually you're going to bounce back from that. And then those back-to-back wins following it will cover those trades. So it's all about risk management. If you guys lost that UK 100 and you guys took my other trades here, my USD CHF, this should have locked in some profits, because you guys saw me lock in about 200 bucks off this trade. And then, same with our RJPY that's still active right now. So just keep that in mind, guys. It's all about risk management. It's all about managing your positions properly and not over leveraging. If you guys don't over leverage, you guys should be completely fine. Just remember that all the trades, there's no guarantee for any trades, guys. If it hits stop loss, eat the stop loss and move on to the next one. But okay, so let me keep going on to the next questions over here. Thanks, David. David said hit that like button. So yeah, guys, if you guys haven't already, if you guys can do us a favor and just like the stream, that way we can grow this channel. Like I mentioned, I do this completely free. I trade free with you guys every morning, and I go live. Basically, I help you guys answer any questions. And in order for me to continue doing this every day for free, we just need to grow this channel. So if you guys like this, you guys get some value out of my sessions, just go ahead and like the video and subscribe if you guys haven't already. That way we can continue to hold these free live sessions every day. Let me go ahead and continue down further and see what is going on. Shortstein said, okay, fine. You're already in JPY, join late. Yeah, Shortstein, it's fine. I'm going to go ahead and reanalyze that as well. We're currently in JPY for a buy. So, we both have the same view on that trade. But I will go and analyze it a little deeper, for you more specifically, so that we can justify our position. So Ed said, woohoo, full TP for US 30 London session. So if you guys took the London entry for US 30, which I know some of you guys still take, I don't take it because I'm asleep during that time. But if you did take that trade during London session, which was right here at midnight, unless you took the later one. Did you take the later one, Ed? Because it looks like it might have been this buy. Unless you were using the new strategy that I was discussing. So like, for example, here, if you were to take the London entry right here, we would have skipped this trade because it didn't close above this one over here. It would have, like, price would have to cross above this area. Since it didn't, we would have skipped this one. And then since this one right here crossed below it, we would have taken this right here. And it looks like it would have hit full TP. So yeah, I think Ed took this one right here. Or it's nearly to full TP. It looks like it's almost there. So that would have been the London entry right there for US 30 if you guys took it. It's basically the same strategy, except with the addition of the new confirmation that we use. So it looks really good, actually. I'm not sure if that's the one you took, Ed, but it does look like it would have been nearly at full TP at that point. Let me see. Yeah, Dominic, so the UK team has been on fire the last 2 weeks and had lots of wins. Now people want to moan about a loss. Exactly. It happens all the time, guys. Like, there's no 100%, for any strategy, even for US 30. Like for US 30, if you look at our results here, we had let me see how many. We had a lot of wins, and then we just had losses recently because of the holidays, guys. You guys have to remember that it's a holiday week. It was a holiday week last week, and the week prior to that was a holiday as well. But looking at our results for December over here. So for December, our indices, we had like straight wins, guys. So like for December week 1, we had 4 wins, 0 losses, 6,000 pips. December week 2, 3 wins, 2 losses. We're in profit, 750 pips. Week 3, we had 5 wins, 0 losses for 5,000 pips. So last week was the only week we had a negative week for the entire month, guys. We had 3 wins, 3 losses for a negative 1,900 pips. But in total, we had, for the month of December, we had 15 wins and 5 losses for a gain of a net 10,000 pips. So you guys have to be consistent with your trades. If you guys are only taking like one trade a week and you guys lose that trade, it's just bad luck. You have to take every single trade, because you guys can see here that the earlier weeks were profitable, very, very profitable, right? We had one minor losing week last week because it was a holiday week. We only traded about 2 or 3 days. And then again, the same with this week as well. It's another holiday week. We only have 2 or 3 full trading days. So that's why the market's a bit iffy. But if you guys took every trade, you guys should be completely fine. There's no reason for you to be in the negative if you took all the trades for the month of December. And just keep that in mind, guys. It's like I mentioned, it's a risk management game. It's a numbers game. You have to take every trade. You can't just go think you're lucky and take one trade and go full leverage, and then you end up blowing your account because that could be the one trade that loses the entire month. And you just have to be consistent with your risk. So let me keep going down real quick and see if there's any other questions before I go and analyze those pairs that you guys asked for. Okay, so Victor, so the gap was not there in the morning when I opened it. Now it's showing after I refreshed. Yeah, it was probably just delayed data, Victor, because yesterday was a bank holiday. So or a bank holiday for the UK. So that's why the market was, it's just slowly reopening. But that's probably what it was. It was just delayed data. Ryan said, what about the sell signal on UK 100 after opening? Let me go ahead and take a look at that real quick. So let me go over to UK 100. John, are you talking about the sell signal right here for UK 100? So yeah, if you're applying this strategy, or if you're applying the new strategy, this sell signal would have to close below here, right? So this would actually be a valid sell if we were using the new strategy that I introduced last week. So basically for right here, this would have been a short position. Stop loss would be somewhere around there, 220 pips. So this might have been the entry. I think it should be a little farther back. It's too close. So yeah, this would have been the entry right here, John, if the new strategy was applied for UK 100. But like I mentioned, we haven't really applied it for UK 100, so I can't confirm that it works well. But if we were to apply it, this would have been the scalp entry right here. So this could probably come right back down from this point, but we'll see. I mean, we can also look at the IG sentiment too to see what it's like. We can see where everyone's trading. IG sentiment UK 100. All right, move this over here. FTSE. Yeah, it's pretty mixed right now. There's like 60% of people are long. A majority of people thought that it was going to be long. And that's probably what happened here, guys. It's probably why the spike down happened, because there was more people long. So what happens when there's a lot of people long is they want to spike price down to stop these people out, right? Because if people are long, say if someone entered a long position right here, because they thought it was going to continue up, which would make sense. So I would assume that someone would have entered this position right over here. I think this would be the entry for whoever was to take this long position. If you were to take this long right here, looks like since the majority of people are long, they probably spiked it down a bit from this point down to here to stop people out. Right, so that's probably what happened here. They wanted to stop people out right there. Exactly. So looking at it here, it actually lined up perfectly. So like I mentioned right here, this is probably where people entered long positions, and then they hit like directly to stop loss right here. And it's funny because I didn't realize that it was right here. This is why you guys have to analyze it from both perspectives. Sometimes if market's being manipulated, they'll push price right to stop loss, and then from that point it shoots all the way up. That always happens normally. So this might be the play right here. But like I mentioned, guys, even though I'm analyzing like this is all speculation. There's no strategy that's being applied to this. This is just for my quick overview of like what happened right here. So I wouldn't take a buy just because it looks like this is what's going to happen. Like it came from here, people got stopped out, and then it's now going to spike up. This might happen, but I'm not too confident about this just yet, because I don't know what caused this drop here, whether it was because of manipulation or whether it was because there's something going on in the news. But I don't really see anything in the news causing the UK 100 to really drop like that. Actually, so right here, Brexit deal, right? This happened 33 minutes ago. So maybe this is what affected your guys' trade. Looks like about, I don't think this is my time, but it said 30 minutes ago, which is about 7 o'clock, was when there's news about the Brexit deal. So if this happened about 30 minutes ago, you just go back to UK 100, 30 minutes ago, which is when this drop happened. So this might have been what caused the drop for you guys' trade. I mean, but Brexit's been going on for like months now, if not years now, guys. So I don't know if this necessarily would have affected it heavily, but you know, whenever something happens where you take a loss, obviously you want to go and figure out what caused it, right? It seems like that's the only thing that would have really caused it. There's one right here: two UK lawyers both disappointed post Brexit access. It looks like there's a lot of Brexit news that has gone on today, guys. So just keep that in mind. If you guys are wondering, you know, why that happened, why it pulled back like that, there's a ton of Brexit news going on this morning. I'm not sure if you guys noticed that, but all of this happened while your trade started going down. So just looking at the news right here, there was Brexit news about 33 minutes ago, some more Brexit news about 5 hours ago. So that's probably what started to cause this drop, right? So the first Brexit news happened about 7 hours ago. If you go back here and you just go back to 7 hours, oh, that's exactly what happened. Look, around 5 hours ago, or 6 hours, between 5 and 7 hours ago, that's when it started to drop. So it looks like you guys' UK 100 was affected by all of this Brexit news that was happening during that time. So, you know, don't feel bad if you guys took that loss. It could have gone either way. But obviously everything's news driven at this time. So just keep that in mind. Anyways, let me go back to the chat. I know I'm going off topic a little bit here, but I'm just going to go ahead and go back to the chat and see if there's anything else that I missed before I go over those pairs. Deswell said, I'm still in the trade for UK 100. My stop loss was adjusted. Nice, nice. Roman, James asking, Shawn, do you post your markups anywhere? So no, James, all my markups are just posted here on the YouTube, you know, whenever I go live. I don't really post these anywhere. I probably should, but I don't know, I'll have to find a centralized location for that. Maybe I'll post them on TradingView. Actually, that's a good idea. I never really thought of post my ideas on TradingView when when I analyze them for you, because they could be pretty helpful for you guys. Let me see what else we got over here. Gactive, hello, Gactive, morning. DeAndre's asking what website is that? DeAndre, it's forexfactory.com. So just go to forexfactory.com and then you can click on news up here. And then it has all the news events right here that's pretty much going on. So I just saw here that there was a bunch of Brexit news going on. That's probably what affected your guys' UK 100 trade. So at least that gives you guys some clarity as to, you know, why this started to drop here. I figured it had to drop because of something, like something was happening causing it to drop. And, you know, just looking at the news here, obviously it has a lot to do with Brexit. DeAndre said, why have a buy signal if it's bad news? It's not necessarily bad news, DeAndre. You know, if you read this, it doesn't say it's bad news. It just says Brexit deal is compliant. That's actually good news because you want it to go up. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's bad news. So if you don't understand how to analyze news, then you should probably just keep it out of your strategy, because you might be looking at it wrong. But there's just news. Just because there's news doesn't mean it's going to be good or bad. It can still manipulate pricing either way, because people react to news in different ways, whether they want to push price up, push price down. And the strategy is not based on news. So, you know, all those wins that you had like all month for UK 100, those news wasn't taken into consideration. I mean, I don't know how else to explain it. There's just a loss, eat the loss. You know, there's nothing that you guys can do about it. We're just going back to see what caused this drop here. But there's no way that you could have determined that it would have dropped here, because when this happened here, it was at support, right? It was at support here. So it did a breaking retest followed by a buy signal. Everything points to an upwards move. The news here wasn't necessarily bad. It just said that the Brexit deal is compliant. So this could have been good, could have been bad, depending on who interpreted it. So I mean, that's pretty much why. But yeah, you know, going back to like what everyone said before, you guys can't complain over like one loss, guys. Like we've had a bunch of wins this whole year and even just this whole month. So just because there's one loss here doesn't mean anything. Um, the only people that would be upset about a loss here would be if you over leveraged or you just took the one losing trade out of the whole week, you know? So let's go ahead and take a look at everything else over here and continue on. So the first question we have is from Lisa. She wants me to take a look at GBP USD. I'm gonna go ahead and pull that up right now. So looking at G right here, I'm gonna go ahead and clean up the chart so I can do this from scratch, delete everything from there. There's a naked chart there, zoom out, use the K2SR right there. And I'm gonna draw these on the chart for you guys. All right, so I got that zone up there, got that lower zone, that one right there. All right, these last two lower zones right here. And we're good. All right, so after I draw on those zones, I'm gonna take this off the chart. Zoom out from this point. You guys can see here that the looks like the bullish move started from September. So it's been bullish in September over here. So we had a low, high, low, high, low, high, low, high, low, high. So basically we're getting higher lows and higher highs. So it's been pretty much in an uptrend since September over here. Down this end over here. So it's been an uptrend since then. It looks like it's still continuing up right here. So just, you know, looking at that from a bird's eye view, from this point, price broke into the structure. It pretty much has the same pattern over and over again. It pretty much bounces from structure to structure. So we have price break structure, reject off this point, come down, and it pretty much just bounces around, right? So looking at this right here, we still have a bullish bias. On top of that, I'm going to turn on the K2 momentum indicator to determine current momentum. Right here, we have a bullish momentum. So right here, we had a buy signal, it broke structure, came up, tested this upper structure right here. And then it looks like it's still coming back down. So basically right here, we established a low. I mean, it started from way down there, but we'll just restart it from here. So low, high, higher low. And then from this point, I anticipate it to continue up even further, right? The problem with GE right now is that we have the stimulus that's going to be coming out soon. So due to that, that's probably what caused this drop over here. Because last week when they introduced the stimulus, they introduced how much money was going to be printed, right? I think it's about 1.4 trillion. So with that much being printed, let me see if I can pull up CNBC over here. Yeah, so they're going to be printing about 2 trillion. That's a lot of money. So they're going to be printing a lot of money. What by doing that, the US dollar is going to lose its value, right? So right here, this dropped, and then now it's starting to lose its value, and the GBP is gaining strength. So if you guys understand with how how price moves in compared to the currencies, if price is going up, that means the first currency is stronger than the second currency. When price is going down, that means that the second currency is stronger than the first currency. So currently right here, we have the US dollar that's going to be printing about $2 trillion. So when that happens, the US dollar is going to be weak. And with that said, it's probably going to push this price upwards, right? Because with the US dollar weakening, it doesn't necessarily mean that the GBP is going to be stronger. It just means that it's currently stronger at this point, especially with all that printing going on. So I think overall, GU is probably going to be bullish. The only difference is that the UK is in lockdown right now because of the new COVID strain. So with them being in lockdown, their currency is going to be weak as well. So this is like two weak currencies paired up against each other. But I think the pound is going to be stronger than the US dollar. After the US dollar prints $2 trillion right here. So for me, I have a bullish bias on here. So in order for me to take this trade, I'd want it to close above this structure, so that once it closes above that structure, I can take a buy position right here and then write it to the next structure above. So like right here, it would be about a 65 pip move. That's pretty much where I would want to write it. So I'd wait for it to close above the structure, and then I would write it to the structure up here. So looking at this right here where it happened previously, you can see that we had it's pretty much just repeating itself, right? Right here, price broke the structure, and then what happened when price broke the structure? It shot up to the next structure right there. That's basically what I see happening right here. It's happened 3 times already. So right here, price broke structure, and what happened when it broke structure? It shot up and tested this upper structure right here. Then it came back down. It did it again for a second try. It came up, broke structure, tested this structure, came right back down. So again, right here, what do you think is going to happen? When price breaks the structure again, it's probably going to test this structure, and then on the 3rd try, it's probably going to break above it. And then once it closes above here, like I'll take my full TP here for 65 pips. And then once it closes above here, I'll take another long position because the US dollar is not going to gain in strength anytime soon. Once that happens, I'll pretty much ride that from here for 65 pips, and then again here for about 100 pips. So that's pretty much the key areas that we're looking out for. We're looking out for price to close above this structure, which is going to be 1.3593. Sorry, it's 1.35393, and then again above this structure right here, which is going to be 1.36246. So I do see a strong bullish move coming for GU right here. That's basically why we took our USD CHF trade right here, because you guys can see that the CHF is coming down, right? This correlates with GU because, like I mentioned, the US dollar is going to be weak because they're printing $2 trillion. When they do that, the Swiss franc is going to gain in strength because it's a safe haven currency. So since there's uncertainty in the world, the Swiss franc is going to gain in strength, the US dollar is going to be weak, and this is going to push down to our full TP. You know, correlating this with GU over here, the US dollar is going to be weak. The GBP is not going to be necessarily that much stronger, but it's going to be, you know, worth more than the US dollar. So we're probably going to see this push up and continue along with the other correlating pairs. So if you guys see that right there, you guys just tie in technicals with fundamentals. You just look at the news. The US dollar is not getting any stronger. You know, until we like cure COVID in the US, it's not going to get any better because stimulus is just going to have to get. It's just going to keep getting pushed out, and for the most part, it's just going to keep going upwards. So if you look at that, you correlate it with something like EU, it's bullish as well, right? AU, it's bullish as well. Look at all the USD pairs: AU bullish, EU bullish, GU bullish. It's going to be bullish. NZD USD bullish. UJ is going to be bearish, and USD CHF is going to be bearish as well. So looking at all these pairs right here, they correlate with you know, GU over here. So I think once it breaks the structure, we can write it to there. Once it breaks this structure, we can write it even higher to there. So yeah, just keep that in mind, guys. You know, you guys have to analyze this and make sure you look at it from all perspectives, because like for this right here, there's I mean, there's a lot of different ways that this can, you know, play out for the most part, but looking at the fundamentals, obviously US dollar is going to be weak, right? So that's going to tie in with our bias, that we're only going to take bias from here. And then on top of that, looking at the technicals, it just shows that it's going to come up because the most recent signal was a buy signal. Unless we get a sell signal, then we're going to look for sells, kind of similar to what happened here. Right here, we had a sell signal. It broke structure down here. We would take a short, and then it would have hit full TP, right? Same situation right here. We had a buy signal. It broke structure up here. We take a buy for 100 pips that way. So our bias will change once we have, you know, some other confirmation, but currently right now we have a buy signal. So we're only looking for buys. So just keep that in mind. But G over here does look all right. So let me continue over here and see what else we got over here. All right, so we looked at GU right now. We're all done with the next one. So GU's done. Short scene wants me to take a look at AUDJPY. So if you guys have any other questions, that's my last pair to really look at right now. So if you guys have any other questions, feel free to put them in the chat. That way I can look at any other pair that you guys want me to take a look at. Otherwise, I'm going to take a look at AUDJPY right here. So looking at AUDJPY, the reason why I took this buy right here is because price broke structure right here. So price came up, broke structure at this point, and then I anticipate it to break out from this point. So it's breaking up, shot up, so break, retest right here, and then I'm anticipating a momentum swing upwards. So that's basically what I see happening right here. And correlating this with the other JPY pairs, they're all bullish. So right here, CAD JPY is overall bullish. It just slightly pulled back right there. Same with EJ over here, is overall bullish, slight pullback. Same with GJ over here, overall bullish, pullback. It's going to swing back into a bullish move. And then same with NZD JPY right here as well. It's overall bullish, right? So if these are all bullish, odds are our JPY is going to be bullish as well. It's just pulling back right now temporarily, but overall it's going to be swinging on upwards. So let me Varun, it's up to you. If you want to enter, you can just get a late entry and you can get in at a better price, because I'm currently in the trade right now. I'm slight drawdown, only $40, but it's cool because I was already up like $200 on the USD CHF down here. I'm still thinking about re-entering this trade, but I haven't decided on it just yet. Maybe if I can find the another entry point. But looking at JPY, it does look like it's going to swing back up. I think short scene wanted me to take a look at it on the 30-minute. But yeah, short scene, it looks like a strong bullish move here on the 4-hour. But if I go down to the 30-minute right here, it looks about the same. So it looks like if you were taking it on the 30-minute, you could have had a better entry at this point right here off this candle. But it's only a few pips. So let me see, from this point to here. Yeah, it's only about 6 pips. So it's not a huge difference, but yeah, overall, I think it's going to have a bullish move. Here you can see this nice bullish move right here. It's doing the same thing I just analyzed on the 4-hour. So basically right here, you can see that price is just bouncing from structure to structure, right? It started its low down here. So low, high, and this is just basic price action, guys. We have low right here. We have a high right here, and it just keeps establishing higher lows, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high right there. Or the higher highs haven't even established. This could be considered, I guess, somewhat of a higher high, but I think it's going to probably close a little higher over there. And then we anticipate it to, shoot up from this point. So that's pretty much what I see happening over here, guys. I think it's going to have a bullish move, but yeah, definitely overall, it's just going to take some time. Like I mentioned, the market's going to be heavily manipulated this week because it's a holiday week, guys. Today is the 29th, tomorrow's the 30th, and I think how many days are in December 31st? Yeah, so Thursday is going to be New Year's Eve. So tomorrow's probably going to be the last day that we have some active trades. Hopefully these hit full TP by then. And then we're going to kick off the trading year brand new next Monday, or next Sunday, actually. So next Sunday is going to be the 3rd. That's going to be a brand new trading year, guys. I'm super excited, especially with this new strategy that, I developed with it. I'm going to have to do more testing, guys, because, like I mentioned earlier, if it was used for UK 100, this probably could have been avoided, but it's fine because it happens. Sometimes we just take the loss, but with the new addition that I'm bringing to K2, it will definitely help a lot with regard to, minimizing our losses or just eliminating our losses in general, because it gives us that extra confirmation needed when we, decide to take these trades. So looking at this here, it doesn't look like we're going to have an entry, guys, for a US 30 today, because yeah, this huge drop right here is like huge, guys. It was like, let me see, from this point up here down to here, it's about 2,000 pips almost. So if we do get a buy signal, which is probably what's going to come after, it doesn't look like it's going to be a very safe trade to take, because like I mentioned, the sentiment for US 30 is at about, oh wow, okay, so people are getting kicked out of Dow 30. There was more people short. There was like 73% people short. Now it's only 70%. So it looks like people are shifting back into buys. So it looks like people who were short here ended up cashing out. They closed out their positions, and now they swapped to buy positions because they think they probably anticipate this to shoot up this point and head back up, right? because like I've mentioned before, if you guys look at the history for US 30, or it's probably gonna hit full TP first for you, Ed, before it swings up. But looking at the history of US 30, if I go on the weekly, you guys can see here that basically at the end of every year, it always closes bullish. Like from November to December, it's bullish. And then again, last year from November to December, it was bullish. 2018, from November to December, it's bullish. And then 17, bullish, 16, bullish, 15, bullish. It's always been bullish, right? So that's kind of what I see happening here. I see it dropping a little bit, but I think it's going to have some momentum to push it back up. Like, I don't think it's going to drop below this point. This is probably the last area it'll drop to. So I might get some buy limits ready at this point, or I'm going to keep watching it, and I'm probably going to take some buys, but we'll see. Like I mentioned, you know, sentiment should probably be the last thing you look at. Once you've analyzed the trade, you can see where everyone's trading. Most of the time, you want to trade on the opposite end because, you know, most people fail at trading. So you don't want to be trading like a sheep because you're just going to end up getting, you know, kicked out of these trades as well. So looking at this over here, let me see if there's anything else that you guys need. It looks like you guys are getting a little crazy in the chat. All right, guys, it's cool, man. Like, there's no point in you guys arguing over anything. It happened, you know, loss happened, just take the loss, and then we analyze what happened after. You know what happens, guys, just cool off and we'll move on to the next one. Just or you know, take a break from trading, guys, because there's one loss here, guys, but it's not a big deal. We're going to bounce back from it. But looking at the week, it's going to be a crazy week. So if you guys can't handle these risky trades, just sit out for the rest of the year, you know, and then we'll start back again on Sunday. But if you guys want to take the risk, and it's more than, you know, it'll be fine from that point. We're just going to keep rolling with these trades and see what, you know, what comes out of it. Because I'm still going to be trading, guys. It doesn't matter if you guys want to trade or not. I'll be here trading, and I'll take whatever trade I can get, because obviously I do this for a living, and I kind of enjoy the risk sometimes, guys. Like, a lot of people don't like the risk, but for me, it's just another day. But okay, so let me go ahead and take a look over here and see if there's any other questions. I think we might have missed a couple things over here. Lisa's asking, Shawn, did you say you were going to re-enter US CHF at some point? Yeah, possibly, Lisa. I was looking at it because I think it's going to come down. I think it's going to come down overall, because the US dollar is just crazy weak. But I'm just waiting for a better entry. I don't want to enter just yet because it might pull back to entry. So this is what might happen. I pull back to entry, and then we can probably get a better entry from that point. I was thinking about maybe entering using the new strategy that I introduced to you guys, because it does work on Forex. It's just we got to look for that entry point. I'm just hoping it doesn't. I mean, I don't care if it drops and it goes straight to TP. That's fine. But I'm just being greedy. I want to look for a better entry because I'm not 100% sure if it's going to pull back to entry, because if that happens, I can just wait, you know, and then I'll lock in an extra 10 pips rather than entering right here at a 10 pip loss automatically, just to be greedy and want to hop right back in. But I think it's going to come back down. I'll keep watching it, and then if I decide to re-enter, I'll let you guys know here if that's the case. Our AJ position is back in profit, so it's looking good so far. It's doing exactly what I mentioned, guys. It came up, broke structure, retested, and then now it's going to shoot right back up. Hoping this closes with a strong bullish candle so we can, you know, grab that momentum upwards. So AJ looks good. Let me move on to the questions over here and see if there's anything else. So Varun's asking for EJ. So let me pull up Varun. JPY. Let me see if there's any other questions. If you guys have any other questions, feel free to put them in the chat, and then I can look over whatever you guys want me to look at, because we have a pretty much free day today for the most part. The market is, I mean, it's all over the place. Sometimes it picks up, sometimes it slows down. But for the most part, we have, I have a lot of free time during the session, especially with US 30 over here, probably not giving out a signal today because it is 8 o'clock. We have about 2 hours. So maybe 2 hours, if we have a decent signal, we'll take it. If not, then we might hang tight, meanwhile. All right, so let me go ahead and take a look over here. Yeah, definitely, Bruin. So I'll take a look at both EJ and EU. Nice. Yeah, Sam said AJ's back, almost back. It just swung back in profit. So thankfully, just be patient with it. And just trust the strategy, guys, because you guys see here, I apply the same strategy every single day, same analysis, same strategy, same everything. So obviously, if I apply the same thing every day and it works most of the time, you guys can just trust it and let it be for the most part. I'm probably gonna let this run to full TP and leave it alone. It looks like I'm going for how much? About $300 off this trade. So we'll see how it plays out. But yeah, so let me go back and check out EJ, EU, and I think that's it for right now. Like Desmond said, I'm upset about all the talk about the UK loss. Like really, people, the win rate at this group is ridiculous. Yeah, guys. So just make sure that you guys take every trade. So my main key advice to you guys is take every trade, use proper risk, and don't over leverage, and don't over trade. So the thing is, if you guys stay consistent and you guys just take every trade, the win rate's going to balance itself out. If you guys take one loss, you'll probably have 4 wins following that. If you have 4 wins previously, like we did here, I think we had like so many wins before we had 1 loss. We had like about 7 wins before we had a loss last week for a US 30. And it just happens, guys. Sometimes it happens, and you guys just have to eat those trades in some instances. So let me go ahead and take a look at the questions over here. Okay, one more question from Nibras. Hey, Nibras, how's it going? How's your wedding? I think your wedding was last week, right? Or it was pretty recently. I remember you posting in the group. So congrats on your wedding if you guys had it already. If not, then early congrats. All right, so Nibras wants me to take a look at GBP NZD. So we have on our list right now, we have EJ, EU, and GN. So I'm going to start with EJ real quick. Oh, there we got a buy signal for US 30, but it's not something that I would really want to take. So we'll keep looking back at it, guys. If this does happen, then we will take it. If not, then we'll probably hold off. I'll just see how it plays out. I'm not going to take it right away, even if it does close. But we will analyze it because I do think it's going to swing back up. Reason for that is because their sentiment is still 70% short. Obviously, before they drop the market, they're going to want to stop all these people out, right? So 70% of people are short. People are short right now. Where do you think their stop loss is? So if you enter a short position right here, their stop loss is probably going to be somewhere around this point, right? It's going to be around the quarter point. So what might happen here is they might swing it up, stop these people out, and then drop it right back down. It happens all the time. I'm sure you guys have been victim of this like quite a few times where it hits your stop loss and then it goes straight to TP, right? So we'll see how this plays out. Otherwise, we'll move on with these other pairs. So first pair I'm going to look at is EJ. Let me go over to EJ right now. And then I'm just going to take everything off the chart so you guys can see exactly what I'm looking for. Zoom out from here, turn on the K² SR indicator, and then I will draw my zones. So draw this lower zone down here. That right there. That right there. I'm just gonna draw big zones right here, guys, because there's like there's too many zones within one area. So there's like we're just gonna avoid that area completely for the most part. All right, cool. So looking at EJ right here, looks like price just slightly broke out of consolidation right here, because you can see. So we have this low right here, price shoots up. So basically, this is how it happened, guys. Price shot up, retracement come down, shot back up, heavy consolidation right here, then breakout upwards, right? Super easy. If you guys have these zones here, it helps you out a lot because you can see that establishing high lows, and then right here it was ranging consolidation, and then it broke out above right here, right? So right here we have a bullish bias. It looks like price is bullish. I'm going to go ahead and turn on the K2 indicators so that we can identify where momentum is moving. So turn this on right here. Right here, most recent signal was a buy signal, right? So from this point, we have this buy signal, price broke structure right here. This would have provided for a long entry at this point. It looks like price is currently just retracing slightly, which is normal. So currently right here, looks like price is in some slight retracement. I mean, it happens all the time, guys. Sometimes this candle might not even close down there. Like what happened here is price broke structure. It retested it right here. So it's like a break, retest, and possible breakout from here. So that's basically what I see happening over here. And like I mentioned, analyzing the other JPY pairs are all pretty much bullish. Like EJ right here, we have a slight pullback, but I think it's going to push back up. Here's our AJ over here, same situation. It broke structure, retest, and I think it's going to shoot right back up, right? CAD JPY bullish, NZD JPY bullish as well. So if these are all bullish right here, we can anticipate that EJ is probably going to be bullish as well. It's just having a slight pullback right now. I'm not sure if there's any specific news that's affecting it, but if we look at the IG sentiment, let me just pull that up real quick. IG sentiment, Euro JPY. Yeah, looks like EJ. It looks like majority of people are short. So 64% of people are short. It looks like price is now shifting to the other direction. I mean, that's good for us because there's a lot of people that are short right now. So they're probably, what they're doing is they're pulling it back. Like, yeah, it's pulling back right here where it's probably trying to lure in the rest of these sellers because they don't want people to hop out of their sells, right? There's 64% of people are short. They want to lure people back in. So this might come back even farther. This might come back to here. And then people are going to enter some sells, right? Because if you enter some sells from here, it's about like a 60 pip profit, which is a nice little profit there. But with these people here short, they're going to give these people basically some hope that it's going to come back down. So they'll let price come down a little bit. And then when you least expect it, what always happens here is it corrects back up, pulls back a bit, and then skyrockets straight up. So once this here starts to stack up, it's like 64%. Probably once it reaches like closer to 70%, they'll start packing it. So they'll bring it down a little bit. Once there's a lot of people in some short positions, they spike it up and they stop everyone out. So that's kind of what I see happening here for EJ. Or it might not even pull back as far. It might just pull back right here, and then it might shoot from that point. So we'll have to wait and see how this plays out. Obviously we're not going to know until it happens, but this is pretty much what I see happening with EJ here. I do have a bullish bias. Main reason for that is using the K2SR strategy. So first, we identified a break in structure right here. Second, we confirmed the direction of momentum right here. So obviously, this is going to be charging for a breakout, right? Right here, price broke structure to break and retest. Once it charges up from this point, I anticipate it to possibly shoot up and have a strong bullish move. So basically, what we're doing here is we're catching these breakouts, right? For example, right here, I'm going to show you an example like right here. So price was in the structure, broke above, buy signal, and then it shot straight up. Same situation right here. This is the same pattern that's playing out right here. It's the same exact pattern actually. So right here, you can see we had a buy signal, right? I'm going to go ahead and draw some boxes over here so you guys can see. I'm not sure I'm drawing ellipses. So right here, we have a buy signal, right? Let me move this somehow. There you go, buy signal. Let me copy that. So buy signal, price broke structure right here, right? Buy signal, price broke structure. You guys see something similar? Buy signal, broke structure, right? our book structure right here. So, I mean, technically it could be here or over there, but anyways, we had buy signal, broke structure, has some, this would actually be a better example over here. Buy signal, broke structure, broke structure. What happened here? Retrace back, just like I said earlier, right? I said it was going to come back to here or come back to here. Comes back to structure, break and retest, charges up for that little bullish move, and then it skyrockets like crazy right there. For how many pips? For like 200 pips, right? Same situation right here. Price comes up, break and retest, right here, tested structure, charges up for that momentum swing upwards. What do you think is going to happen here? Same thing. Same exact pattern, right? You got that right there, got that right there. Same thing, break structure, retest, skyrocket up. Consolidation, buy signal, broken structure, retest, shoot right back up. So that's what I see happening for EJ over here. Looks good. It's going to line up with our other positions as well, like AJ over here. It's currently swinging back into profit. So that's basically what I see happening here for EJ. If you guys are looking at taking EJ, I would have a bullish bias right here. So hopefully that helps for you guys. For EJ right there. Next question up is going to be EU. So let me go to EU real quick. EU is right here. Yeah, if you guys have any other questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Otherwise, you know, let's be hanging around. Wow, look at this jump right here. So that was a nice little fake out for that buy signal on US 30 that didn't close. Thankfully, it didn't close. We would have tried to take it. So I think it's going to drop a little further. It's probably drop to here, or you can even reject from this point. Either reject from here, or reject from here. 2 points of rejection, but we'll see how that plays out. So going back to your USD right here, I'm going to go ahead and take everything off the chart for you guys. Delete this. Zoom out from this point. K2SR. Rectangle down here. I'm in the process of trying to get this updated, guys. I might have this, might try to update this indicator so that we can just have these zones filled in already, so we don't have to do this. I mean, it's not a big deal, but it does become a little bit of a hassle, right? Because we have to go and like draw these every time, and it's just a little time consuming having to redraw this. But I like doing this because it shows you guys, you know, what like how I got these zones, and it gives you guys some clarity as to like why these zones are placed there. All right, cool. So looking at Euro USD, same situation with the GU that we just analyzed. So right here, obviously we had a bullish movement since November, actually. November or October, actually. No, it's been bullish since since March. So since COVID happened, you know, it's been super bullish. Obviously, it's been going through some patches where it'll consolidate, break out upwards, consolidate, break out upwards. Very, very long consolidation, break out upwards. And this is why we trade within the zones, guys. So when price breaks the zones, it usually pushes, you know, to the next zone. Similar to what happened right here. Price broke the zone, and then it shot up from here. So let me turn on the momentum indicator. Looking at this right here, it looks like, you know, our previous signal was a bullish signal. So in order for us to take a buy entry right here, we would want price to close above this structure. Once it closes above the structure, it's probably going to test the next structure above. So let me see if there's another structure we can look at. Nothing on the 4-hour, 8-hour, daily. Man, is US 30 it's in an area that hasn't been in a long time. Last time price was in this area for Euro USD was in 2018. So it's been a very long time since it's broken this structure. So you can definitely anticipate that if it breaks it, it's going to shoot up pretty far. So the last time it tested it was in April 2018, and then before that back in 2014. So it looks like every 4 years it breaks this structure. or it, it crosses the structure. So 2014, 2018, and then again in, well, we're only in 2020, so maybe it's gonna come back down from this point. But I don't see that happening because U.S. dollar is weak after the stimulus. All right, this is going to be like a messy, like a very messy pair to trade because yeah, it's going to be kind of tough to even draw these structures here because price is so close. Let me just draw from here. This is on the weekly chart, guys. Looking at this here, I'm gonna go down to the 4-hour. 4-hour, I'm gonna go hide the K2SR. I'm gonna zoom out from this point. Yeah, it's actually right at resistance, and even if it breaks structure right here, the next resistance is super close. So I would probably stay away from EU, even though I think, well, I mean, obviously it's going to go up because of the stimulus and COVID news, but I mean, the last thing you want to do is get into this trade, and then it ends up reversing on you. So I'd probably wait for it to cross above this structure right here, which is not that far. I'd wait for it to cross above here, which is going to be at 1.23305, and then I would take the buy from that point. The main problem here is you don't want to enter when it breaks this structure because it can easily reject off this point or anywhere within this area. It can reject off this point or even anywhere above here. That's why we want to wait for that confirmation for it to close above here. That way we can take a buy position and ride that upwards further. From price right here up to here, it's about 80 pips. So it's technically fine. What we might have happen here is once they start printing money for the stimulus, let me check the news real quick. Once they start printing money for the stimulus, then we could probably see a breakout. So before you even before you even notice it, this might break out upwards because if the stimulus passes, if the Senate votes on the stimulus and they pass it, it's going to be a huge burst of momentum. So it might be a little breakout. It'll break out up here. And then what might happen is this. It'll break out, come back for a retest, and then we take our buy position there. And then we ride it upwards, right? So that's probably what's going to happen here for your USD. Reason for that is because it aligns with GU over here. So GU right here, we're waiting for the same thing. We're waiting for it to break the structure. Once it breaks the structure, we can take a buy. Same with E over here. It's currently at structure. So once it breaks the structure, we can buy. It's just gonna be a game of patience, guys. I don't recommend entering it just because there's no guarantee it's gonna continue that direction. Oh man, look at USD-CHF, Lisa. We should re-enter this, huh? I was getting greedy. I was waiting for it to come up, but it looks like it's gonna come straight down. US looks like it's getting weaker as we speak. So that's coming down. Our JP right here is coming up. All of our positions are looking decent right now. Doesn't look like we're going to have a US 30 today, but we'll continue watching it anyways. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it for EJ and EU for you. Varun, hopefully that helps. Let me see if there's anything else that we could probably look at right now. Yeah, definitely. Varun, UC does look like it's swinging back down. I wanted to take that retreat, but it's okay. If I wanted to kind of swing up a bit before I can re-enter it, but if it comes down further, it's completely fine. Sorry, guys, I'm sleepy today. I'm not sleepy, I'm just lazy. It's at the end of year mood. Plus, it was raining yesterday, so it's kind of cold outside. It's cold in my office. But yeah, guys, ready for this year to be over, man. 2020, a year that we didn't really get to do much. I mean, we did much, but we traded a lot this year, guys. Looking at the results, so like every time I look at the results here, I'm like myself, guys, I never really have documented every trade for like an entire year. And it's really crazy that we've taken this many trades. Like you always see people talk about taking like 500, 600 trades a year. I didn't realize 500, 600 trades a year this year. So we took 495 wins plus 146 losses. So we took a total of 641 trades this whole year, guys. So if you guys have been with since January, I took all these trades live with you guys, and that's a lot of trades, you know. Like I can't even fathom taking this many trades. Like I'm like, all right, I hit like the buy button like 600 times, right? Or I hit the sell button like 300 times, and then I hit the buy button 600 times as well. And that's just Forex. This really builds character, guys. If you guys document, I always recommend that you guys journal all your trades, because it what it does is it helps you understand, that there's going to be wins and losses. Like right here, I can't even imagine how many trades I took like during each month. Like I took at least 100 trades in certain months where they were really big. And then on top of that, so we have 641 Forex trades, and then we have 90 plus 23 indice trades. So in reality, I took a total of 641 Forex trades, well, 113 US 30 trades. So I took a total of 754 trades this whole year. That's pretty crazy, guys. I can't even imagine like being on my phone that long. But I mean, we've been trading every single day. So it's been a great year so far, guys. Thanks for being with K2 for the whole 2020. It's been a great experience just trading with you guys every single day, and the profits that come with it. I'm sure you guys have seen me evolve, not just as a trader, as a person as well. You guys saw me. I was working my job at the beginning of the year, quit my job, got my dream car, got pretty much everything I ever wanted just from trading. And you guys have been with me for like the entire journey. So, cheers to you guys for being here. And I'm ready for another year of these profits. So let me see what else we got over here. Yo, it's good. Cameron's here. Not much, man. We're just chilling, Cameron. We were looking for this US 30 entry, but the signal never came. And I don't feel comfortable taking it now because it's dropped so heavily. Like from right here, market opened, and then it dropped from this point all the way down here to about like 2,300 pips. So it's kind of risky to take this trade right now after that huge drop. Let's see what else we got over here. Victor said, Shawn, from when will we be using the new strategy for US 30? I'm very keen on understanding it and applying it. So, Victor, I still have to do a lot of back testing. We've already back tested a lot of it. I think our raw data showed about a 65% win rate without making any adjustments. So I think if we make a few adjustments, we could probably bump that 65% win rate up to maybe 75%, maybe even closer to 80% if we tie in a couple other factors. So if you want to go back and rewatch that, Victor, it's in the premium. Just go to any of the channels and just search missed in here, and then you'll see that the link is still there. It's on the 23rd. So if you go back to the live session on the 23rd, I cover it there. I pretty much cover most of the things that you need to look at. A lot of people have been doing their own back test on it as well. Obviously, there's like some little changes that need to be made. But if you want to do a raw back test like we've had over here, you can do that. Looking at, I think Alkin did his back test here. Let me see if I could find it. We had a few back tests that were done, and then we have like the losses came around specific times. So like for one, we can probably change that around where we don't. So here's like one of the back tests right here. You can see that for September, this is one that Alkin did. Losses come in certain times in certain areas. So we can probably avoid these losses right here. But majority of them are wins. So if every trade was taken in September, it was like a net profit of 2,600 pips, a 65% win rate. This can be easily increased. We just avoid these losses. On top of that, total pips won was about 6,000. Total pips lost was about about 3,000, but it'll probably be equated to something less than that because the win rate's a lot higher. But yeah, just looking at the strategy here, Victor, this is the back test for September. It looks pretty decent. So we just have to make some changes, and then we can increase that 65% win rate to at least 70 for sure. It's going to be bumped up to 70, likely up to 75. And then maybe if I start to analyze it a little further and figure out, what we can do different with regard to stop loss TP, we could probably have even higher, maybe an 80% win rate. So I'm pretty excited for 2021, guys. Once I start implementing this more often, we're gonna have like some crazy wins next year. I'm gonna start looking for some new toys. But yeah, no, definitely it should be pretty good. So let me go ahead and take a look at the next next pair. So we have one from Ebros wants me to take a look at GN. Let me check the chat real quick to see if we missed anything here before we continue further. Sure, no problem, Varun. When did I start K2? So I started K2, I think it wasn't last year. Yeah, actually, I think it was last year, 2019. So I started K2 last year, uh, like in the fall. I think we kicked off like our beta group like in July, and then or in May actually. Started our beta group in May, and then we launched K2 in July. So it's only been like maybe a little over a year. Hasn't been too long. So if you go back, like if you go back on the let me see if I can pull up the results here because I have results going back from when I started recording my trades. So if we go to the course over here, because KT used to just be like a free community before. So my first trades that I recorded were from August 2018. So I think our beta group started like about 2 years ago, and then the actual like K2 actually became K2 like in July 2019. This is when it first started. So it's only been about a year, a little over a year since K2 has been officially started. So it hasn't been too long, but it's gonna, with all these profits we lock in, we're gonna be going for a good while. Especially for me, because I like trading, guys. I like trading. I like helping you guys. It's not a big deal to me that I come on these live sessions with you guys, because it does help me increase my knowledge and my skill with trading as well. So only been around for maybe a year and a half, but we're going to be around for a very, very long time. So for Nebraska, wants me to take a look at GN over here. Let's pull a GN. So looking at this over here, Nebraska, I'll just start from scratch so that you can see everything that's done with my analysis. So I zoom out from here, turn the K2SR indicator, draw my zones. Just gonna draw big zones up here because it's not really necessary that we take into consideration like a lot of these smaller zones that are just gonna overlap. So there you go, you guys. If you guys have the K2SR indicator, you've seen that. I drew my zones in just a few seconds. From that point, we have perfect zones, identifying exactly where these rejection points are. So looks like this area of rejection has been tested a lot. See, price is currently right here. The last time price was in this area was back in August of 2019. So it shot up from there, came back down in June, shot right back up, came back down in September, shot back up. Now it broke through it after it retested it in November, and it actually dropped even further. So we have a bearish bias here. Let me turn on the momentum indicator over here. Yeah, right here. If price breaks this structure right here and closes below it, then we'll take a short position right there and then write it to the next structure down here for about 200 pips, right? So this looks good right here. And just looking at the previous time where it happened, which was right here, this is why I anticipate it to happen again. See, price broke structure right here. Same situation over here. Price is going to break structure again right here. So I definitely see it coming down from that point. I have to turn on the momentum indicator to see this. So let me see this right here. All right, cool. Yeah, so from like right here, we had the sell signal down here. So the entry actually would have happened over here. And then we would have wrote it from this point down to there. Same situation right here. We have a sell signal. If it breaks structure right here and closes below it, then we would anticipate this to come down further to there as well. So until price breaks this structuring, it's already broken it, but it needs to close below it. If it closes below it like it did right here, then we can anticipate it to drop even further from that point. So, that's pretty much what I see happening right there for GN EBA. So we would probably have to, yeah, wait and see how that plays out. Yeah, no, Varun said it looks like a head and shoulder. It could. Let me see if I take this off right here. I personally don't trade patterns, so I can't necessarily say if I see it or not, but it does, I could kind of see it from my perspective over here. So I guess this would be his shoulder, head, shoulder. Yeah, it's probably gonna come down from this point. Yeah, I don't trade patterns at all, so I wouldn't be good at drawing it, so I don't want to look like an idiot and draw like an ugly head and shoulder. But yeah, that pretty much looks like it's it. That will play out. Razul is asking, Shawn, what was your full-time job prior to trading? How much? So my job prior to trading, I was an attorney. So like the past 2 years when I was working as an attorney, as a lawyer, I was giving out free signals from my office. I was literally all day. I was trading most of the day. And then I worked late night. So I'd be working like at my law job, like as an attorney for like maybe 10 hours a day. I would come in early, work my law job early in the morning, and then 6 a.m. I'd give out the signals for free. And then I would just trade throughout the day, and I'd be at work until like 10 p.m. at night, just working on my lawyer stuff. So that's what I did prior to that. You mentioned how much time did you use to dedicate to trading? I used every single time, like any time that I had that was free, it was all for trading. So in the morning before going to work, I was trading, or I was practicing. During my lunch, I was practicing. After work, I was practicing. I was always trading. Like whenever I had any free time, I was trading. On the weekend, I was trading. Um, trading isn't, it's not necessarily easy, especially when you don't have a mentor. Like for me, I never had a mentor. I never had a course. I did everything on my own. So it took me a lot longer to get everything down, but I'm glad that I did because I actually understand everything because I actually had to learn. I didn't have someone, spoon feeding me this stuff, but it would have been better if I had a mentor. I probably would have learned a lot faster. And that's why I'm here I'm mentoring you guys because, this is something that I definitely would have wanted when I was trading or when I was learning to trade. So yeah, my full-time job prior to taking trading full-time, I was an attorney. I traded pretty much whenever I could trade. And yeah, I did all that while working full-time. So like a lot of people have an excuse. They always have an excuse that they don't have time, right? It's like, and that's all it is. It's an excuse because for me, I was working 10-hour days and I was still trading whenever I could. So for people that say that they don't have time to learn how to trade or they don't have time to actually put in work, they're just being lazy and they're just making an excuse. They're already giving up before they even had tried. So it's possible, guys. For anyone that wants to get into trading full time, I went from a full career where I was making a lot of money as an attorney to trading full time. So in reality, it's possible, guys. It's super possible. I went to school for like 10 years to become an attorney just to become a full-time trader like a few years later. So just keep that in mind, guys. Anything's possible if you guys really want to try. And if you guys have my mentorship, I'm here to help you guys reach the same goals as me. But okay, so let me keep going down over here and see what is going on. Victor said, cool, I only want to apply it once you're happy with it, not taking any chances. Yeah, definitely, Victor. Just be very careful with it because it's a brand new strategy with it. It's just that there's a lot of stuff that needs to be changed in order for it to be perfected. Razul said, wow, that's dedication. Thanks, man. We much appreciate it. Definitely, Razul. And I'm here to help you guys, because I want to make sure you guys are successful trading, just as how I've become over the past couple of years now. Merciful said, hey, Shawn, what's up? I know you don't take these trades, but what are your thoughts on Bitcoin? So for Bitcoin over here, Bitcoin, it looks like it's reaching a support right here. We analyzed this yesterday. I'm currently I'm buying and holding. So I just have mine and I'm holding on to it. A lot of people think Bitcoin's going to drop, which it might drop, but it's currently at support right here. So I think if we get a buy signal, so say it closes into the structure and then we get a buy signal off here, then I think it's going to continue up further, but it is a bit overextended. It looks like it's now just in consolidation. So if you guys look at Bitcoin right here, it provides a clear pattern for how it's been moving lately. So right here, price broke up from here. So it broke up the structure, consolidated, broke up again from here, and then now it's back into consolidation, right? So from this point right here, it's probably either going to break up or break down. Hopefully it breaks up because I have my long-term holds for Bitcoin. I'm not touching it, just leaving it there. But yeah, basically right here, this is probably the scenario that can play out, Mersabaugh, for Bitcoin. It'll either reject off that structure or it'll break below. So this is pretty much what could happen at this point. It either comes down, tests the structure, then shoots up, or it breaks below and continues down further. I mean, we'll see where all the hype is. I mean, especially with COVID and all that stuff, a lot of people are hopping into Bitcoin. They're basically just jumping into the hype, right? So it might continue up further. It might even hit 30,000 by the end of the, maybe not by the end of the year, but actually it possibly could, because it's moved, let's see, from this point up to 30,000, it's about, it's about a 14% increase. So looking at Bitcoin over here, it's had a 14% increase in the past 2 days as well. So it could possibly shoot up further. I have a bias because I'm buying and holding it, so I want it to be bullish. So if you ask me, I'm always going to say it's going to be bullish, but I mean, literally it can go either direction. Once it tests the structure, like I mentioned, it can either reject off it or it can break below and continue down to this structure. But the thing with Bitcoin, you guys got to remember that Bitcoin has no history. It's a speculative asset. It doesn't necessarily go in either direction. You know, it can literally spike up either direction depending on where the hype is. If someone's hyping it up, it's going to spike it up. If someone downplays it, it's going to come down. It just really depends on who's trading it and whoever has the most Bitcoin. Because the person with the most Bitcoin, if they want to dump this right now and sell off all of their Bitcoin, they can do that. They can sell off like all their Bitcoin and dump it like way down here, because then people will buy the dip. That's usually what happens. What happens is someone with a lot of Bitcoin sells because they want to cash out. They sell the Bitcoin, it drops, and then they rebuy it down here, or someone else buys it from down here, and then they push it right back up, right? So this is probably what's going to happen with it from now until the end of the year. Let me see what else we got over here. Merlin said, I'm working like 14, 18 hours a day right now. Yeah, definitely, Merlin. That was how I was before too, because I was still a new attorney. So I had a lot of work. I had a lot of stuff to learn as an attorney because I didn't know what I was doing. So I was literally working like 12 hours a day, just trying to figure out what I was supposed to do. And then whenever I had free time, I just always traded. So, it's totally possible. If you guys have a real passion for trading like I do, it's not going to feel like work. Like I'll be trading like all weekend, but it doesn't seem like work for me because I actually enjoy doing this. And, seeing the profits roll in, that's like the best feeling ever. Because you're like, if I make enough profits, I can quit my job. And it finally got to a point where I made enough consistent profits trading where I was just like, well, I'm going to quit my job then. So quit. And then here we are. This is my new job, teaching you guys. Let me see what else we got here. Dennis said, I know the feeling. Hopefully by next year, I can quit Amazon, do this full time. Definitely, Dennis. It just takes like a little breakthrough for you to understand like risk management and to be able to calculate your risk properly. I think that's the biggest thing is trade psychology and risk management, because you already have the holy grail in front of you. You have my strategies that I use every day. So as long as you do that properly and use proper risk, you should probably be out of your job like earlier than that. Like, I don't think it even needs to be next year. Like for me, I had my huge breakthrough probably last winter up until March. So from last winter until March, I was super profitable. And I was like, dude, I need to quit my job so I can do this full time. So I quit my job in March, and it was only like 3 months into the year. And I was like, it was middle of COVID. So nobody's quitting their jobs. Everyone's scared because they don't know like what's going to happen. But I was so confident with my trading where I was just like, fuck it. And I quit my job, and that's it. I've been trading full time since March, and it's been great. I'm never going back to another job ever again, because this has just been, it's been fun. It's been fun. Profit's been good. Getting all the toys that I want. It's been a great ride. All right, so let me keep going down to the chat over here real quick. Let's see. Merspot said, nice. Been kind of scalping it, but Hugo's way spread is heavy on Bitcoin. Yeah, definitely. I don't recommend actively trading Bitcoin, Merspot, because I've seen your account. You like to take a lot of risky trades, but for For Bitcoin, it's a little different. It's harder for you to really identify how it's going to move because it's not like there's not enough data for you to really pull to identify, where those trades are. Because the thing is, people get lucky trading Bitcoin all the time, scalping, but it just takes one bad trade to like really screw up your account, especially if you're spread super wide. So just keep that in mind. Merspa also said, I've heard rumors of people saying it will reach 100K. I mean, 100K, bro, that's a huge long shot. I mean, people are gonna say rumors, Merspa, but have you looked at 100K? 100K is like way up here, bro. It's probably not gonna reach that for like years. It's not gonna happen over like 1 year, because and I'm just laughing about it because I've heard rumors like that before, but if you're thinking about realistically it reaching 100K, it has to go up like more than 500,000. It's not going to happen within the next, maybe not even 5 years, unless this takes over the real currency, which is not going to happen. Banks are going to be like, oh yeah, go ahead and cryptos take over the world. But looking at this here, you see how big of a movement this is. It's not going to reach 100K anytime soon. Maybe eventually, maybe when you're like old and like and cryptos have like taken over, but 100K is a long stretch from where price currently is. Price is barely right here. And this move right here was just some momentum that happened this year because of COVID. People didn't want real currency anymore. They wanted to like play around with it. So like since COVID happened in March right here, that's where it shot up. But 100K is a very long stretch. I mean, not to say that it's not going to happen, but it's not going to happen within the next year for sure. It's going to have to increase by like 736,000 before it reaches that point. So at some point it will, but the thing is, you have to also look at Bitcoin as it's going to have some pullback. It's not going to have a straight shot up. It's going to reach a certain point, then it's going to have some pullback, like right here. Price comes up, comes back to where it was previously, comes back up, comes back to where it was previously, comes back up right here. What's probably going to happen? It's going to come back to like normal pricing, somewhere around there, before it shoots right back up again. So maybe like in the next 5-10 years, it'll reach that point, but it's not going to reach that point anytime soon. Maybe not even 5-10 years, maybe 10 to 20 years. But we'll see. We'll see what goes on with that. Sam said, please tell me on family law. Definitely not family law, Sam. I did work on some family law cases because I did work at a big firm. But I handled most of the corporate laws, defending a lot of companies like Uber. Like when Uber drivers get into car accidents, I would defend Uber. Like that was basically what I was doing most of the time. It was kind of like the dark side of law, because it was like people are just getting in car accidents and they just want to get their money, but I'm over here like, nope, you're not getting your money, bro. So I was kind of like I was basically the market maker of car accidents. But yeah, definitely not family law, bro. I can't do that. There's too much emotions involved in family law. So I never wanted to ever go into that. But let me keep going back over here and see. Okay, so E is asking, thanks for getting back your zone, man. Please explain how you find your zones. So EDE, basically the way that I find my zones is I'll go to a normal pair. Something like, okay, so I'll go to NJ right here. The way I find my zones is I use the K2SR indicator. So you take those off the chart. Here's my naked chart right here. I turn the K2SR version 2 indicator, and then there are the zones right there. So I could just leave my zones like that, but it leaves the chart kind of messy, right? So what I do is I just draw my zones over the K2SR zones. That way I have some clean zones on the chart, and I don't have to have all those messy zones lingering throughout my chart. So that's pretty much all I do. You can see that I drew my zones within a few seconds. I take off the K2SR indicator, and there you go. You have some nicely drawn zones right there. And it's pretty exact. Like in order for a zone to get created using the K2SR, the same price has to be tested more than twice. So the same price right here, 71.482, this same price was tested at the same exact price point at some point in the past. So it pulls all the data right here. You can see how many times it's tested. and it identifies these areas of rejection. So basically, what these zones identify are like the bank algorithms, right? Because the banks, when they trade at a specific price. They have a specific price point where they reject price. So the way that the K2SR indicator works is that it identifies where or like trades have been made at the same exact price point. So when price comes down and it rejects off this point, this same price point, 71.842 or 71.482 has been tested at some point in the past. You can see it's tested right here in November. It's tested here again in September. It's tested back in July. It's tested back in June. It's tested back in January of this year. And then again, you can see how strong these zones are. It's tested again back in July of 2019, August 2019, and then well up into May. So, having these indicators right here, take out all the guesswork because my algorithm is able to detect, where the bank algos are trading basically. So that's why our zones are so accurate. Some people will draw zones in random places. Like they'll be like, oh, this is a zone right here. The thing is, this is what you think is a zone, but in reality, this isn't like a real zone because it's not where price has tested in the past. That's why I trust the K2 indicator to draw these zones for me so that I have full accuracy with all of my trades. That's why our win rate's so high because we have accuracy. That's what it really is. It's really about accuracy. A lot of people misplace zones because they draw it on their own. But you can't outsmart a computer. A computer is going to pull all the data from this chart, and then it's going to compile that data to identify these specific zones throughout the chart. And it's super simple. So let me see what else we got over here. Deswell said, at what point did you quit your job? Did you have 2 years salary saved up? I'm trying to save up 5 years salary. So me personally, Deswell, I didn't really save up much. I literally just quit. Honestly, I didn't have any money. I probably had maybe no, I had money, but I didn't have it wasn't enough to cover a salary. I think I saved up maybe like 40K of capital. That's on top of my trading account. So maybe a total of 50K. I didn't have that much money saved up. I just got sick of my job, bro. Honestly, it was so stressful at work where I was like, I need to leave. And then that kind of pushed me into taking my trading more seriously. That's why now, if you guys followed me before, I used to trade on the 30-minute chart. So I took a lot of riskier trades, but now I only trade on the 4-hour, and the profit potential trading this has been phenomenal, guys. You guys have seen how consistent my profits are in all my trades that I've called because it's really important to me that I'm consistent because this is my full-time job. If I don't make money trading, I'm going to suffer. So I have to be profitable at trading, and I have to be very on point with all the calls that I make. Because if not, if I have a big loss, I can't just go back to my job and oh, I want to come back to work. Obviously, my life revolves around trading now, and that's why I'm always trading 24/7. If you guys ever see me, I'm always trading because this is how I make money, trading. So yeah, but don't do what I did, Deswell, and just quit your job. For me, it was different because I had the drive. For you, you might not be there 100% yet. When you're 100%, then yeah, you can do it. But for me, this was like an all or nothing thing for me. It was I either become a full-time trader or I become an attorney forever and never quit. So just take out the grain of salt. Don't follow exactly what I did right away. Make sure that you have some sort of plan when you decide to quit your job. Don't just quit. Make sure you have a realistic goal with your trading. Okay, let me see if there's anything else here. Deswell said, yeah, Shawn, you're the type of lawyer that would kidnap, hog tie, and put me in the back of a truck. Definitely Deswell, 100%. Yeah, I mean, it was a cool job. Being a lawyer was fun for a bit, but it was just stressful with actual work. But yeah, I mean, I'm always gonna have that license. So technically, I'm K2's lawyer. I just don't I don't go to court anymore. Let's see, Spencer said, thoughts on the peso if it gets through this resistance zone. So let me go check out the peso real quick. So for a lot of you guys here that don't trade or want to trade exotics, you guys can apply the same strategies on exotics as well. The K2 indicators aren't necessarily strictly for major pairs. You can use it on any Forex pair, any commodity, any index, any stock, anything really. But here we go. I'm gonna analyze the peso right here. So US dollar versus the peso. Go ahead and draw this right there. Right here. And then down here. So the USD peso is actually it's actually a really good exotic to trade US trade K2 on, because we found a lot of success with it the last time we really took a deep dive into it. All right, so check this out, guys. So the peso right now, it's obviously in a downtrend, it's heading down. And right here, let me see. Yeah, looking at it right here, I mean, just looking at the market pattern, it basically came down, retraced it a little bit, came down, consolidation, came down from this point, pulled back. Looks like it was trying to reverse right back up, but it didn't make it so far. So it came up to here, established a high. At that point, it's coming right back down. So it looks like it's going to head back down from this point. We currently have a bullish momentum, but I can see that shifting at some point soon. So just looking at the pair right now, we do have that bullish momentum, but like I mentioned, it looks like it's going to swing back down, especially with this heavy wick right here. It looks like it attempted to swing back up, but it got pushed right back down. So with the stimulus getting printed, the US dollar is going to be weak. So as this comes down, the peso is going to gain in strength against the US dollar. So for me personally, I would wait for a sell signal, and then I'd wait for it to close below the structure. Once we get a sell signal and it closes below the structure, then you can possibly take a short position from here. Well, it depends, right? So this is one scenario. One scenario is we get a sell signal and it closes below here, right? I think Spencer, he saw it as a buy because it was above earlier. So the thing with this right here is this was this huge wick. Price was above here. If price was above here, then yeah, I would take a buy position and write it to this next structure right over here, right? That's probably what Spencer was looking at. And there's nothing wrong with that, because that would be a valid entry for this right there. The only problem is we need to factor in the fundamentals. Like I mentioned, with the stimulus getting printed, when the stimulus gets passed and money gets printed, the US dollar is going to be weak. So this is going to be weak and this is going to gain strength. With that said, price is likely to drop down further, because when price goes down, that means that the second currency is gaining strength against the first currency. So if fundamentals play out as they're supposed to, this is probably going to come down from here, Spencer. And then I would wait for this to close below this structure, or even this structure right here. I'd wait for it to possibly close below this structure, but I'd rather close below this structure because the spread's 81 pips. So the thing is, if you want to enter this trade right here, yeah, I think this would be only considered 51 pips, right? Because we move the 0 by 1. So this would be about 51 pips. You can't even cover the spread if you enter the trade right there. So what I would do is I would wait for it to close below here so that you can take this low free fall down here and make some profit off here, because this is going to be for about 486 pips or 456 pips, and then your spread's going to be 80 pips. So in reality, your profit potential on that is going to be about, let's see, 80 times 2, 160. So you got about 456 minus 60 minus 160. It's going to be a gain of 296 pips if you were to take this trade right here. So that's basically what my bias is going to be for this, Spencer. I'm going to be waiting for this to close below if you want to take it. Otherwise, I think it's just too risky of a trade to take right now, especially with the US dollar. With the US dollar gaining or weakening after the stimulus has been spread. I mean, the stimulus has been passed. So that's pretty much what I see right there for the peso. Let's see if there's anything else here that we can look at. Our AUDJPY is currently at entry again. It's just bounced around the area. USDCHF is dropping again further. So it looks good right there. Thanks, Josh. David. Josh said 60 plus live channel, like the video team. Yeah, guys. So if you guys haven't already, if you guys can do us a favor and just like the video, you know, that's going to do us a huge favor here so I can continue to keep giving you guys free advice and I can keep holding these live sessions with you guys. Like I mentioned, you know, it benefits me to come on this live session with you guys, but it does take a lot of time out of my day since I'm spending like half my day here with you guys when I could be just trading on my own if I wanted to scalp or anything like that. But yeah, you know, as long as we continue to grow this channel and people continue to show up, then I'll continue to have these live sessions with you guys. Otherwise, you know, if this channel doesn't really grow, then this might have to be limited to just the premium members so that, you know, the people that are actually supporting the channel will have some value out of my trades, out of my analysis, and out of my trade ideas. So if you guys have any other questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Otherwise, I think we're done with the questions for now. I'm going to keep scanning the charts for any possible entries. But if we don't have many questions, as you can see, the market's kind of slow right now. So I might have to just get off a little early today so I can answer some questions. I have a couple text messages, a couple Telegram messages. Also, I have like a bunch of emails. Let me see. Yeah, I have like 100 emails to get through. So if you guys don't have any questions, I'll probably log off for a bit. But I will be looking for trades off the next 4-hour candle close. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. You know, otherwise I'll probably be getting off a little early today just to answer all of these questions because I am a little backed up after the holidays. And yeah, if I haven't gotten to your questions yet on Telegram, guys, or through email, don't worry, I'll be getting to them shortly. I just been really busy lately with the new strategy and a lot of the new different things that we're adding to K2. Doesn't look like we're going to have US 30 trade today, guys. You know, I'd prefer to not have a trade than to have a bad trade, kind of similar to what I've discussed with a lot of you guys before. Sometimes it's better not to trade if the market is being manipulated. Obviously, right here for US 30, this is a huge drop. Like from this point right here when market opened all the way down to here, it dropped a total of 2,300 pips within 2 hours. That's like, that doesn't normally happen. You can see yesterday we had the whole day and it didn't even move. So yesterday market opened right here at 6:30. Or no, yeah, yesterday market opened over here at 6:30 and it only dropped like quite a bit. It dropped about, yeah, it dropped like 1,300 pips. You know, that's a huge difference. 1,300 pips within 6 hours versus 2,300 pips within 2 hours. So obviously there's a lot of stuff going on in the market today. Stimulus is going to be passed, I think, shortly. Let me check this real quick. Yeah, there's still, it looks like there's still, why do they always use these pictures of McConnell? Looks funny. Mitch McConnell. So he's going to have to decide whether they vote on it. I got sneezed a little bit. Yeah, he's going to be voting on it today. So we'll see how this passes. I think once this happens, it's going to spike US 30 either up or either down. Obviously for us, we would anticipate it to spike up, but who knows, you know, market might get further manipulated and spike down again. But for me personally, I think it's going to shoot up because looking at the sentiment over here, we still have 70% of people are short right here. Or no, look, so it's starting to shift, guys. You see the shift here? People are getting kicked out of the trade. So there was like 75% of people that are short over here, but you can see as it spikes up, right? As it spikes up, they know people have their stop losses in these areas. So like, let me just show you, for example, here. Where's a common place where people put their stop loss? It'd probably be where it swung up, like somewhere around here, right? So this is probably where people put their stop loss. And then at this point right here, they get stopped out, right? Because price comes down, they move their stop loss in profit. It swings up, it stops them out. Again, right here, people price came down again, where's people going to put their stop loss? At the swing right here, right? So when people put their stop loss at the swing, they get stopped out again. So people who get it drops, pulls back, stops them out, drops, pulls back, stops them out. So looking at sentiment right here, you see sentiment was like 75% yesterday. And as people get kicked out of the trade, people start to shift from short to long because a lot of people are anticipating it to go long now, right? So that's where US 30 gets a little risky because you don't really want to be trading where the majority of people are trading. Now that people are switching from short to long, it's going to be risky for you to enter a long position because it might push up slightly. And then once it pushes up slightly, it can either skyrocket up or it can come crashing right back down. Because once the majority move over to a long position, the market makers are going to stop them out as well in the opposite direction. So you guys got to keep in mind, always analyze US 30 like you're playing chess. Identify what can happen, like what's the best case scenario, what's the worst case scenario. Think about if you enter a buy right here, what's the best case scenario? Best case scenario is it swings all the way back up, right? So that's best case scenario. Worst case scenario is you enter a buy right here, it swings up, and then it just dumps on you heavy, stops you out, right? That's worst case scenario. Those are the two main things that can happen here. Another worst case scenario is it can just consolidate, go sideways for a long time, and then you'll be hanging on to this for like days on end until it spikes up and goes in your direction or spikes down and stops you out. That's like probably the very worst because you'd hate to hold this for days and not know what's going to be, going on with this specifically. But I mean, we'll see what happens from there. C6 said, I don't think there's one decent picture of this guy out there ever. I don't think so either. He always has like an unusual look on his face. And McConnelly. So we'll see. Let's see. He's supposed to vote. I don't think they have a date here, David, but it says, I mean, it's got to happen by today for the most part. Tuesday morning, President Colin. Yeah, I don't necessarily, they don't have the date here, David, but I think it's got to happen by today because they've already voted. Yeah, the House already passed it, so it's going to be his decision whether they vote on it or not. It looks like they're going to pass it. So it looks like it's going to go from 600 to 2,000 because it looks right here, there's a couple of Republicans from Georgia, a couple of senators who are running for the January 5 runoffs and determine the control of the Senate, have expressed support for bigger checks. So yeah, if these Republicans are supporting the check, it looks like it should be good. Bernie Sanders said he will block the Senate's plan to override Trump's veto unless chamber votes on large payments. Okay, so it looks like it's going to pass, guys, because Bernie Sanders said he's going to block it if they don't pass it. So it looks like it's going to happen. The Republicans said they will. They're going to be running for office, so they need the vote. And it looks like here, yeah, Senate Republicans face pressure to vote on 2,000 stimulus checks after House passes the bill. All right, so we'll see what happens here. You know where that money's going, straight to everyone's Hugo's Way account. So you can take some US 30 trades, right? But yeah, guys, I think that's it. I don't see any other questions here. So I think I'm going to be cutting this short for today because I have a ton of emails to get through, guys. I'm very behind with like the K2 emails, so I have to go and respond to those. I think I have about 100 emails to get through today. So I'm going to go through, answer these emails. If you guys have any other questions, always feel free to message me on Telegram. I might not get to you right away, but I'll get to you eventually. It's just I have so many questions to get to today, and I have to set up a bunch of mentoring sessions. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, I will catch you guys later on the Telegram. Thanks for showing up. Hopefully our positions hit profit. Our USD CHF is about to hit TP2 right here. So this is looking great. Our AJPY looks great as well, back in profit. So yeah, everything here looks good, guys. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, thanks for showing up, guys. I'm going to see you guys again tomorrow morning. Hopefully we'll have some better trades. before we close out the trading week. But yeah, till then, I will catch you guys later. See you guys later, guys.